Hi everyone, this is James. I wanted to do this video to just give you some thoughts on a proper response if you are a USI-TECH member and you're made aware of a couple of recent regulatory actions that are happening in relation to our broader cryptocurrency industry and Bitcoin opportunities, and as well as specifically related to USI-TECH. During the past week or two, there have been a couple of regulatory notices, most notably in Canada and the United States, and I'd like to talk about them, also talk about what a proper response might be for your consideration as you think about that, and also what you should expect or not expect happening in this space. So the first thing to say is nobody should be surprised to see that the global authorities at a international, at a national, at a regional, at a state or provincial or local level want to make claims of jurisdiction over different parts of the cryptocurrency industry. So we have and I want us to be aware it's not just a company issue like a USI-TECH industry. It's not just a business opportunity issue for business opportunities operating in Bitcoin or MLM. It's not just an issue about business opportunities in relation to mining. It's not just an issue about business opportunities in trading. It's not even an issue generally about business opportunities. It's the whole mix. So there are regulatory and tax and other issues related to Bitcoin. There's regulatory and tax and other related issues related to Bitcoin mining. There are different sets of regulatory and tax issues related to Bitcoin trading. There are other different regulatory issues in relation to the different parts of arbitrage. There are different issues related to cryptocurrency and business opportunities. And so when you take that whole range of things from Bitcoin itself and what regulatory issues there are, and then there's a separate set of issues about Bitcoin exchanges and Bitcoin wallets and buying and selling Bitcoin. The range of tax and regulatory issues is immense, and no one really has had any certainty or clarity about it. So let's just put it in a positive way. You should not be surprised that there are jurisdictions all around the world that want to have a voice and a say and assert jurisdiction on one or more or maybe even all of these issues. That's to be expected. So don't think that this is some shock. It's not a shock. In fact, 2018, 2019, and probably 2020 are going to be packed full of debates and fights about who and how this whole range of issues in cryptocurrency could and should be regulated. And the people that want to say and target a particular company that is a leader and striving to be compliant wherever it works, they would want to make that an example and say they're an example of the worst. It's actually the best. So USI-TECH has made every effort thus far to be compliant with the rules and regulations. They have hired multiple law firms in multiple jurisdictions. They've been working to be compliant with relevant regulations. And unfortunately, as some of the examples indicate, there are assertions which, if proven true, that certain USI-TECH affiliates have marketed the opportunity in ways that are incorrect. I'll give an example. In the Texas case, it is said that the two gentlemen that were personally subject to this said that this was a legally certified product by the FTC. That was never true. All USI-TECH representatives were told to not say that. And so if those gentlemen did say that, they were violating instructions from USI-TECH. They were not in compliance with USI-TECH requirements, and they violated the terms and conditions of USI-TECH. And of course, they were misrepresenting the business opportunities. So that allegation, if proven true, and we don't know whether it's true or not, it's just a quotation in the government's order and notice, but that would be something more serious. Does that apply to every USI-TECH representative? No. Is it true and correct all the assertions of jurisdiction and all the statements that the government makes. Well, we know that government is not always right, but government is certainly going to be making statements. They will be doing investigations. They will be, legislatures will be checking into this. There will be court fights. I'll give you an example. Coinbase and the IRS. Coinbase was given demands by the IRS to disclose a lot of information. Coinbase did not want to disclose that information, took the IRS to court. And they went back and forth. In large measure, Coinbase won, and the IRS lost in terms of its initial demands. The court did order Coinbase to disclose a certain amount of information, so both Coinbase and the IRS were not happy with what the court said, and they're now appealing that case. It's an example, guys, of what is going to be happening again and again and again and again. Regulators will be asserting authority. There will be some pushback. Courts will have to decide things, and then legislatures will have to say, all right, regulators, are you right, or do we want to make it stronger? Do we want to make it clearer? Do we want to not regulate? These are decisions, policy decisions, tax and regulatory, securities and others decisions. And, we're going to find out over the next couple of years what is really the case with cryptocurrency. It's a hybrid. It's new. And the marketing of it is new. The mining of it is new. How do you share profits in Bitcoin mining, which have been something that people have been doing for years? How do you properly do that? Is that a security? There are opinions on both sides. Is it taxable? There's not so many opinions about that, but what are the disclosure requirements? How does it fit into a business opportunity scenario? Is it something where you have to, every person who's part of the business opportunity has to regulate in probably 300 local jurisdictions around the world as a securities agent? Don't know. That's what some people will say is the requirement. Other people will say that doesn't sound so reasonable. So do we know the answer? No. Will assertions be made, as are being made in Texas as we speak from December the 20th, that that's what they want in Texas? Yeah, that's what Texas wants. So we'll see whether that remains true, and there will be an investigation. And unfortunately, it appears, if the allegations are proven true, that several USI-TECH affiliates did some things. So that aside, I've done a separate video where I've gone into more of the details of that. It's a little bit longer, and I welcome you to take a look at that, and you can review that and think about what all that means. What I'd like to say here is a call out to our USI-TECH affiliates. I'd like us to clean up our own act. There are a lot of USI-TECH affiliates who have not been in compliance with the terms and conditions of USI-TECH. There are people out there who have made statements about USI-TECH's products being approved by the SEC and the FTC. Statements that are untrue, that the company has said you should not be saying, you should never say, that is not correct. And people have nonetheless insisted on misrepresenting the company. That must stop. So I am calling on my fellow I've called on my team, and our team is a fairly strong team within the company. I've called on our team to be helpful, to help ourselves. The rogue affiliates within the company need to be brought into compliance. So here's what I would like to suggest. I would like to suggest that we do unto others as we would have them do unto you. You and I both would like to be treated with respect. If we've made a mistake, if we had a video, for example, I do a lot of videos. When USI-TECH changed its rules several months ago, I do about a video a day, right? I deleted more than 70 videos. I could have still missed something. So I will be going back. And I invite you, I don't think you'll find in my material those kinds of examples. If you do, please bring it to my attention and I will delete any materials that are not compliant. I will do that myself. But what I'm really calling you to do, there are examples, there are serious, egregious violations out there on YouTube land and also on websites of violations of the USI-TECH instructions and terms and conditions. Let's get that addressed. So here's what I would suggest. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Contact those people, write to them, email them, message them, or put a comment on their YouTube video and say that this does not appear to be compliant with USI-TECH. Please correct it or delete it. Give them 48 hours. And if they don't comply within 48 hours, then report them to USI-TECH. Do it in a respectful manner. Don't call them cheaters, scammers. Just draw it to the attention of compliance. There is an email address, compliance@usitech-int.com. And I'm going to say that about 3 or 4 different ways so that you can get the email address, and I will put it in below the video here so that you can get it. I'll probably put it also in the caption, the email address. And I'd like you to be sending things. Let's not bombard them with multiple, ridiculous things. Let's go after the serious violations, okay? The most serious violations, and try to get those cleaned up. But report them to compliance, please, and let the company deal with these issues. That's the appropriate response to this action, because it does appear that some of these actions are being caused by affiliates taking unnecessary action. Others, it is just the natural consequence of regulators. But let's come back to compliance. So it's compliance at USI-TECH, I'll spell it, USITECH dash, a hyphen, INT for international, USI-TECH-INT.com. You just look at any USI-TECH website, that's the domain address, okay? So it's the domain address, and you put before the domain address, no www, but put compliance at, and then USI-TECH-INT.com. Let's say that one more time so that you get it right. Compliance at USI-TECH-INT.com. All right? So again, back with the big picture. There's no surprise with regulatory action being taken. We need to help ourselves to clean up the compliance in USI-TECH, but there are dozens and dozens and dozens of companies out there in the whole industry, and nobody has taken the steps to be as compliant as USI-TECH has taken, and no one as of yet has taken the responsible actions to respond to different actions. So USI-TECH has already been taking steps to be compliant in the United States, for example, with FTC, and has legal opinions on SEC compliance as well. And no one has ever said that they were registered or approved by either of those two agencies. But USI-TECH has also recently said that it is taking measures to make its systems compliant with the tax regulations, and expects to issue, for example, 1099s to U.S. citizens. That's an example of other things that will occur more broadly, and it shows that USI-TECH is committed to compliance with the rules. We can expect a proper response from USI-TECH's lawyers to these notices, and in particular this action in Texas. But contrary to what people will tell you, it's not proving that USI-TECH is the scam leader of the world. No, it's the compliance leader in the cryptocurrency world. That's the truth. And so let's embrace that truth, but let's also do what we need to do to clean up things ourselves. And that means clean up our own house. Let's get the people who are violating the rules to change their materials, delete their non-compliant websites and videos, and to come in compliance. And if they refuse, then they'll need to be disciplined or deleted from the USI-TECH business opportunity. That's what the next steps need to be. We do not need a witch hunt. We need to do it respectfully, but we need to do it urgently as well. All right? So those would be my encouragements and my recommendations. Again, we'd be happy. There are probably some other ideas. Would welcome positive contributions. If you're a hater, you don't need to respond, but you probably will. In the big scheme of things, all of us want a properly operating cryptocurrency business. We want to know how to properly conduct business in mining, in trading, in Bitcoin, in altcoins, and how to do legitimate business opportunities. And so that's what we're all about here. We are doing the very best that we can in this company, the market leader in compliance in the crypto business. And so I'm still very enthusiastic about the USI-TECH opportunity, looking forward to how the company responds and looking forward to continuing to lead the industry. And that's what let's do. Let's also lead it in terms of compliance. Let's lead it in terms of policing ourselves. Let's lead it in terms of a culture of respect and compliance and consideration amongst ourselves. Again, no witch hunts, please. But let's clean things up as well as respond appropriately when the regulators respond. And we can respectfully disagree with those regulators as well. And that will happen too, but step by step. All right. With that, you see the beautiful Christmas tree behind me. I want to wish you the warmest of holidays and the best from Grace and myself. Appreciate all of you. We'd love you to like, comment, share on the video, and we'll keep you updated also. Okay. There's a longer video. It's about 35 minutes where I have gone through the order and the initial allegations. I encourage you to take a look at that if you actually are serious about wanting to know what's going on, and some thoughts as to how we should properly be reacting to that. All right. James, as always, thanking you. We'll talk to you on the next video. Bye-bye.